closer to me.
Stay!
Go to the corner!
Movement!
Hey! Over here!
I should let him and the skeleton duke it out. Dude, thanks for the 51 months. And welcome back. Oh, homie. Okay, that's the way we gotta go.
This place feels
Oh no, this is.
familiar.
I guess we've seen everybody's arc
Let's go
except hers.
inside.
Yes, let's. Quiet.
This is the library from my dreams. I wonder who she was. She looks Barrett's boss. This is just like... I've seen this place.
Tablet hole's relatively new and half looks relatively new and half finished. There are some diagrams that imply the unintelligible text is about a ritual of some kind, but without being able to read Akidan, it's all that can be gleaned.
This looks like the Akita building this place. Clearly they wanted their story preserved, no matter the cost.
Does she not have dialogue here? Really? We're good. Did I miss something? Or is she the only one that didn't have dialogue? She does? Like smotted. Bro, get over it, Ruski. She's a little Furby. Didn't you play Volpera? Wow. Where is she now? I can't talk to her. I have to drag her up and down again. There we go.
Garlowain's gonads. Envoy? I never told you this, but I've dreamed of this place every night for most of my life. This is a godless library. An actual, real-life godless library. It's why I study the godless, because this place has haunted me since I was a child. And that's the chair. It's the picture of coziness.
This place is steeped in fear and death. Let us be about our business quickly.
Envoy, we're in a pristine bit of godless architecture, one from my literal dreams. We're staying as long as we can. Finally, you've arrived. Ah, there it's Bose. That took 10 years off my life. Wait. You must be the librarian from my dreams. Oh, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Oh, though, you do look quite familiar.
You could be twins. Except your hair's better.
It has been quite some time. Too many years to number. Of course. You are an ancestor? A very fashionable one at that. No, child. We are the keeper of these tablets. Or have you already forgotten? Oh, of course. I was you in a past life. Oh, I'm such a fool. You lived with animancers, and yet the idea of awakening to your past lives never entered your mind?
Yes, can't.
This is definitely sounding like one of Giada's ghost stories.
I was the last of the Akita. Once the attacks started, a few of us were charged with preserving as much of our history as we could. So we retreated with as much as we could carry. The attacks? You must mean The Magfolk attacks. Yes, we've heard. Is that the reason for the bodies outside? Yes. Your monstrous gods, who bought their divinity with blood and the souls of their faithful. They tried to butcher every last one of us.
You just sat here and listened to all your friends die?
Yes. There was little else I could do. I'm a scholar, not a fighter. A lesson I'm glad you learned. But how did the Magfolk reach you in here? They didn't. Between the screams of my kin being slaughtered and the screeching of the Magfolk, I couldn't breathe. That's the screeching I heard in my dream, Envoy. I knew I recognized it when we killed that Magfolk. Once it was gone, there was nothing left. And perversely, I found the quiet worse. So I decided on another way. One that wouldn't give your gods the satisfaction. Poison? Well, at least you washed it down with some good wine.
What an awful choice.
Hopefully we won't have to choose for ourselves anytime soon. Yatsley, you know what you must do now. I abandoned my duty to protect
Correct.
our history.
She voices
But
both
you-
of them, like, on purpose.
Someone must tell the story of the Akita. And there is no one else. I'm already an expert. What more do you want me to do? Oh, think about it, Yatsley. You have been training to be the new protector of this collection since childhood. I couldn't ask for a better successor. But that was your duty. I have my own dreams. Yatsley, if you do not become the new librarian, there will be no other.
Keep saying library
The
and
stories
librarian.
of the Akita will turn to dust, and my people, our people, will be forgotten. Just as the burned queen wanted all along, when she sent her magfolk to choke the life from us.
Are they scissor? Is it
This is all too
masturbating?
much. What do you think, Envoy?
There isn't anyone else who can do this.
I'm already intrigued. You don't need to lay on the guilt, Envoy. I'm so glad that one of Sapidal's chosen stands with you, Yatsley. Our time is at an end, Yatsley.
Yatsley.
It's time for me to go. Wait! I've not
Somebody's
even
gonna want
asked
some
you any
pretzels.
questions.
Yatsley
Tell
pretzel.
me about your marriage rights. Oh, did you mean for all your buildings to look so phallic? Unfortunately, my time is at an end. You must keep Yatsley alive. She is the last hope of the Akita. So this is goodbye. I wish we could have... No. I wish that all of you had a better ending. Choose well, Yatsley. And good luck. She's gone.
No.
Forgive me, Envoy, but we should get going. We can talk back in camp. Later.
Complete all companion moments in the garden. Okay. Cool. It just so happens we're about to go to camp. And have another 45 minutes of dialogue with every character. Oh my god, I see fucking traps up ahead. Oh god. Another misstep and see ya. Life is a prayer. My faith has been rewarded. God function sent me unto Kith, a dwarf named Theodore, who awakened in me his migrant prayers. Theodore worships me in his prayer. I see the reflection of prayback. Once again, I have purpose. Theodore tells me he comes from a settlement named Solace, and that his settlement there was once a Delta dwarf named Nandru, who received divine knowledge from no divinity. For the first time in many multiple past times, I think I can truly pray. I can fulfill God function. I was going to Solace and discover all traces of the insistent and utterly extirpate whatever remains of them. Praise God function.
I'll never understand the Akitan love for death traps.
I'm starting to think these people killed themselves.
Good one, Cal.
Nice of someone to mark that blood for us.
I think we found somebody's.
Big chest there. Can't just leave this loot. Roach are spreading flames. Your fire damage is 50% chance to jump to a random nearby enemy. Cool. You're about to finish the game? That'll be DLCs, and they might continue your data and items. Oh, just ended up right here anyways. Where do we go here? This place looks cool. Camp time.
Let's take a break before we continue.
Discover all party camps. Oh yeah. The big fine ale. I haven't figured out that little underwater burny thing, but whatever. I'm going all the way back there now.
There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a
It's just a
perfect place to
backtrack to the
stop
first
and
camp.
relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's
So it was
real
just a
here
short
without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
What's this Cal a bit? Kai just sounds like Cal and talks like Cal. So I named him Kyla. You gonna be alright, Kai?
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long.
Time for some more nerd
Now that
gummy
we're
clusters.
here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting.
I'm glad to have you with me, Kai.
Same. I'd rather have good company in a prison than paradise alone.
How about you, Marius?
I had a feeling you might ask me that. I'm not sure I've really worked through what I've seen here, but I am grateful for the chance to see Yonko again. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows?
Breaking the fourth wall, Marius.
I'm completely baffled. But when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
You okay, Giada?
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the dream scourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death.
I felt it too. Glad I'm not alone.
So am I. None of us could have gotten this far on our own.
What about you, Yatsli?
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. It's not every day that you learn that you're the last hope to carry on a legacy, but... well, here we are. Never literally talked to myself before either. I think I annoyed her. Me? Oh, I think I need another drink. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in.
Phrasing.
Glad to see I've rubbed off on you, Envoy.
Oh, that's
And
nasty.
I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure
horny.
our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by a god with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
As we get into this over, I can't examine my feelings right now.
Introspection cannot be rushed. It takes time and often silence.
Yeah, so shut up.
Oh, for sure. You've survived this long. You'll get us where we need to go.
Thanks, Marius, from you. That's saying something.
Right. Put that sentiment away before you hurt somebody.
Well, no matter what happens, we've already survived more of the living lands than anyone else.
We've already gone farther than Nandru ever did. Whew. I can't wait to see what my statue looks like.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you confronted your own killer and let him go. It takes a special kind of strength to stay your hand in a moment like that.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. And when they burned my home, you gave me another one. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless vase. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time.
Five oddballs on a mission to confront a god. What could go wrong?
Quite a lot, as it turns out. But the journey is worth it.
Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living land's suddenly at peace.
Just this once, could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Probably just stayed here forever and never looked back.
Don't think I haven't considered it. But our problems won't just go away on their own.
Eat.
Stay here? I mean, we are here. It's supposed to be paradise. Can't be worse than Galawain's tusks.
Tempting as it sounds, if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's that running from problems only lets them fester.
Unfortunately, you are uniquely qualified to deal with this, so we're stuck fixing things. Dread.
Before we turn in for the night, I'd like a word in private. Nothing serious, just planning out the rest of my life.
Sleep well.
Oh my god.
Tomorrow we finish this together.
I came here to help you do whatever you're supposed to do with your god friend. Instead, I'm here talking to dead people.
Did it get any peace to see your childhood friend again?
I think it did. He really did seem at peace, right? I imagine most encounters with dead old friends don't, go so well. I owe a lot of that to you, Envoy. You helped me be someone who could handle Sokka like that. Thank you. I will say, it's not really what I expected when I started tracking you and Kai back in Paradise.
You didn't think you'd be talking to dead friends and confronting slumbering gods?
No, I was thinking more in terms of hunting for wild game and peeing on Kai to put the fires out. It's been a bit of a ride,
What?
Envoy. I feel like it's coming to an end. One way or another. I don't know. Maybe the unexpected isn't so bad after all. I never expected you and I would become friends. Yeah, quick note. If you tell any of the others I said that, I'll poison your drink. Anyway.
Friend?
You too.
He's good.
Oh, Envoy. Have you recovered yet from our chat in the library? I don't think I have yet, but maybe talking it out will help.
Search inside yourself and you're sure to find the answer.
A pretty sentiment, Envoy. I would appreciate something actually helpful. It's just... we already have a lot to take care of, don't we? We have a god and an empire both vying for our attention, and now I have this legacy forced on me. I was already unsure what to do, and now a third option appears like the world's worst surprise. But... it makes sense. My whole life has been about the godless in one way or another. It explains why I knew the language, why I felt so drawn to the ruins.
Maybe you should talk it over with Quilichi, get his perspective.
I love the man, but he'll just be endlessly supportive, the fiend. And trying to send a letter when we're on the move like this? It's a struggle. It's not an answer I would have expected, but it's an answer. And now that I know, I kind of thought, well, honestly, I feel more full. Like a puzzle piece sliding right back into place. No matter what happens, even if my path doesn't lead to the library, I feel better than I have in ages.
I'm glad you get your answer no matter what happens next.
So am I. I think... for the first time in my life, I don't know what to do.
Congratulations, Yardsley. Now you're just like the rest of us.
No matter what, I've always known exactly what I want. But this is the first time I've had more options than time in the day. What do you think?
It's your life. You know your desires better than I do.
I ask because I want your advice,
Oh.
Envoy. Please. What do you think?
Your life has been about the godless. You can't stop now.
You're right. The Akira have been with me my whole life, in one way or another. I owe it to them and myself to see it through to the end. Thank you, Envoy. I've been agonizing over this for longer than I want to admit.
Same.
Finally picking a destination makes the journey a lot easier. Oh, but I am not looking forward to telling Quilichi.
He'll understand. Your happiness and fulfillment are everything to him.
You sent her off with Ringbrand or whatever?
We've bigger things to deal with.
Nobody tell her to go
Literally, in
stay with
Sabaton's
Quilichi?
case. Much as I'm loath to relinquish the spotlight, we should be off. And Envoy, thank you, truly. Now, let's go.
Poor Quilichi, dude. Or like Quibichi, man. Okay.
When you find Sapadol, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place.
I didn't realize you had such eclectic tastes.
I'm a man of hidden depths. What's not to love about floating islands and a spectral tree? Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse.
That's true.
Though, maybe don't mention that to Sapadol when you meet them. No one likes being told they don't have it that bad. And from what you've shared, Sapadol doesn't exactly seem even-keeled.
They're volatile before the imprisonment. Since then, they've unleashed the Dream Scourge.
Exactly. And what are the odds that centuries of imprisonment have improved their temper? Setting them free means gambling with the lives of everyone in the living lands. It's not worth it, but it's not my call. I don't envy you having to deal with a loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have when we escape this place.
What do you mean?
While we're tracking down your god, things are heating up between your Adiran comrades and the locals.
What are you talking about? That was all the Steel Garrote.
A lot of people aren't going to make that distinction. Especially when your Ambassador Heelguard hosted Ludwig in Paradise for as long as her assistance was convenient. The Steel Garrote leveled fewer. Even if Animancers aren't the most popular bunch, everyone gets nervous when fields burn. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise Animancy. Not when Heelguard banned the practice in Paradise.
Von Hilgard had nothing to do with the Steel Garrote's plan in Fjord.
Even if you believe that, no one else will. And that's not all. Ringram may have unleashed some powerful magic against the Dream Scourge, but she left a lot of corpses in her wake. That doesn't look good for your people. Not when Ludwig was also in the region.
This
And
is a
your
good time to
people
be
had a
talking about
garrison
this.
at
We're like
Eagle's
about to
Reach.
face a god. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all.
And then there's Solace.
Oh, God.
The oldest continuously inhabited stronghold in the Living Lands, the pride of the Pargrunen, now reduced to ash and rubble.
Come on, half of them wanted to leave.
Yep. And the other half will have stories about how the Steel Garrote and the sudden arrival of the Adiran envoy hastened their exodus. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's gonna be laid at Adir's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Hilgard's been helping matters while you've been out here.
So tensions are high and everyone out here is well armed. What about it?
If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy.
I was sent to stop a plague, not prosecute a war.
Yeah, those were your orders. And if you make it back, you'll be the godlike Adiran who survived an assassination, treated with local leaders, faced a god, and stopped the Dream Scourge. That's a powerful symbol indeed.
Appears to be party to a conquest.
I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. And lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. But I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face.
After he already said
Just
everything.
know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this.
Your guy's a homie, dude. No matter what.
No matter what.
Okay.
Hey, it's not like you could possibly make the mess we're in worse, right?
Thanks, guy.
Anytime. Good night, Envoy. Hey, Gia.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sabadal's.
Does knowing that help?
That's what I keep asking myself. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No Animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me.
Certainly.
I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong.
Now you're unburdened and free.
I suppose I have been all this time. I just never realized it. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful.